everyone, I'm Lily. I'm 8. Today I'm going to read a story. The title of this story is Troika. More than anyone ever loved a dog before. But my dog is different. My dog is a superhero. And he became one even though he only had 3 legs. And I know for sure that I love my dog more than anyone has ever loved a dog before. This dog was different from the day he was born. The other puppy and the litter scrambled over each other. They barked and whined and growled, but one dog was calm as though he knew what was going on. And when I held him, he looked me right in the eye. It was as if he could speak at the time. I couldn't think of a name that was good enough to fit him, so I just called him Dog. Dog only got better as he got older. He was the smartest and by far the most loyal. The other dogs sleep outside in dog houses. But Dog couldn't fall asleep unless he was next to me. He would wait outside his doghouse all night, so he'd sleep on the floor of my bed for a minute. Dog and I live in Canada above the Arctic Circle. Up here there's snow on the ground for 9 months of the year. There aren't many roads and the rivers stay frozen. The sun doesn't even come up for a good part of the winter. My friend and I use dog sled to get around the frozen land. It's hard to make a living up here if there's a thaw during the winter. It's impossible to cross the river by sleigh. Sometimes food runs low, and we had to hunt deer, hares, and other animals. During one thaw, I went out hunting. I had brought down a deer, and the dog was resting while I cleaned it. I realize now that it was my fault. I should have known that the thaw would bring some bears out of hibernation. I should have known that the smell of deer would attract them, but I didn't think of it until the hungry bear had knocked me down, and by then it was too late. I was staring straight down the throat of a huge grizzly. Out of nowhere, the dog ripped free from his harness and leapt on the bear's back. The bear roared and twisted, but dog held on. Dog, it all seemed to take forever. Dog was thrown by a swipe of the bear's huge paw, and the angry creature finally ran off. I ran over to Dog. The wet snow was stained scarlet with his blood. His leg was bitten badly, and I was sure the bone was broken. Dog could barely lift his head, but his eyes still told me that he was there for me. I carried Dog home as quickly as I could, but his leg was badly hurt. My father had to amputate it. I was heartbroken. But Dog didn't seem to mind. Soon he was back to being the best dog and the leader. Even with 3 legs, Dog was still my strongest runner. The next winter, I started entering sled dog races. Dog was always my lead dog. The other kids looked at me funny for having a 3-legged lead dog, but they looked at me very differently when we won. After winning a few races, I entered my longest race yet. And the only person with a 3-legged lead dog, but early on Dog and I were in first place. Other racers even comment on how strong Dog seemed. The hardest part of the race was a long stretch across a frozen river. The winds were bitter and the ice were cold. The ice could be dangerous. As the dog ran, I could hear the river groaning and creaking under the ice. Suddenly, the ice shuddered and cracked. The dog thought hurt, like he knew there was trouble. But the front of my sled caught on the crack. And it tumbled into the icy water. The shock went through my whole body. I never thought anything could be so cold. I could barely see, and all I could do was hold tight. Ahead of me, I saw dark shapes moving, and at the front of those dark shapes was Dog. He kept tugging no matter what. At last, the team was able to drag the sled out of the water. He had saved me again. I spent the whole night by fire, and I thought I might never be warm or dry again. But Dog curled up next to me. He kept me warm all night. By the next morning, we were ready to go again. I thought that was the last of our trouble. The next morning dawned bright and cold, and we were running hard. It wasn't long before we were at the head of the pack again, and Dog, as always, was right up front. During a short rest, Dog's ears suddenly pricked up. There was a crashing sound coming from the tree. A huge bull stumbled into the clearing where we were. Nothing scared me more than the moles. Unlike bears that are unpredictable, they seemed to get mad and charge for no reason. The moose set up a puff of steam out of its nostrils. Then, with a grunt, it started to gallop toward us. This was a disaster. The moose was about to trample my entire sled dog team, but like a shot, Dog leaped at the moose and seized his leg. The moose gave a mighty kick. It was too much even for Dog, who went sailing through the air. He hit a tree hard. I was sure he was dead. The moose lowered its head and seemed to eye the rest of the dog. But Dog got up. He stood swaying on his three legs. He stared that moose in the eye until the moose realized that the dog would never ever give up. Looking a little frightened, the moose retreated into the woods. That was the third time my three-legged dog had saved my life. After that, I knew what I would name him. I chose the word Troika. It's a Russian word that refers to things that come in threes. And even though he only has 3 legs, he was proven 3 times that he is a true superhero. What was special about Troika when he was a puppy? A, he had only 3 legs. B, he was the biggest and strongest puppy in the litter. C, he seemed to talk to the boy with his eye. D, all the above. I just see. Why does Troika sleep outside with the other dog? A, he doesn't get along with the other puppies. B, he doesn't like being outside. C, he wants to be next to the boy. D, he doesn't like the dog out. I choose C. What? How is Troika different from the other dogs in the pack? He only has 3 legs. B, he is the strongest runner. C, he is the lead dog. D, all the above. I should see. What does the boy do right before the grizzly bear attacked him? A, the boy took a nap. B, the boy cleaned the deer. C, the boy cooked dinner. D, the boy read a book. I just B. When does the boy give his dog a name? A, after he gets him. B, after the first big race. C, after the 3rd time the dog saved him. D, after the 1st time the dog saved him. I just C. Why do you think Troika tries so hard to protect the boy? A, he enjoys fighting with other animals. B, he has great love for the boy. C, he wants to show off for the other dog. D, none of the above. I choose B. Which of these events does not happen in this story? A, Troika chased away a family of bobcats. B. Troika leads the other dogs to pull the sled out of the water. C. Troika challenges a moose. D. Troika fights a grizzly. And A. In the story, the boy father has to amputate Troika's leg. What's the amputate mean? A. Wrapped it to wrap in a towel. B. To draw a picture of. C. To attach. D. To cut off. D. Why does the moose give up its attack? A. The boy yelled and made a lot of noise. C. B. The moose changed its mind. C. The moose knows the dog will fight to the death. D. The moose realized the boy and sled are not a threat. C. A moose may or may not get mad and charge you. The moose's actions are unpredictable to you because A. You will not be able to get help. B. You know what will happen next. C. You will need to find a place to hide. D. You can't tell what will happen. C.
What? No way. You got a perfect score? I'm impressed.
I got 10 of 10 correct. The end. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.